sugar back here.
So your gizzards are ready if you're ready.
Alright. Thank you.
Hang out as well, but they're ready for you.
I'm just gonna eat the cereal. I might eat a couple of those. The dog will,
Almost ready, right?
no. The dog will get the rest of them.
Alright, be careful, they're hot.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chicken gizzards. Dog's gonna be happy. And dinner time. Should go ahead and share the link out to everybody because apparently the notification for this one didn't go out. Product placement. My absolute favorite, and in my opinion, the best on the market. At least for store-bought. In the big bottle at truck stops. Sometimes it's a little bit bigger and round, but if I get a chance to go grocery shopping at a regular grocery store, then I get the big jug that's like this wide and this tall with the big handle on the top. But if you notice, I just bought 7 of these, and that's all they had. Well, there's 2 people in here. Jen's one of them. The other one's just being silent. Who is it? Goes well.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true, East Hill, but it's not true anymore.
Thank you.
You good, okay?
There's still a couple of places across the country that have awesome restaurants in the truck stops, but most of them are gone now. What's going on? Nobody's coming in. I don't think the notification went out. I don't think YouTube sent out the notifications. There we go. Now people are starting to file in. How is everybody? Yeah, Twitch is always quick with the notifications. Hello, Jeff. Dinner along with that one. Hey, Jen. Jeff there is the gentleman that came out and met me over there in Fife, Washington here last, Monday? No. No, it was Thursday. It was last Thursday. Because it was before I was going home. It was when I was about to deliver a load there at that Fred Meyer. Jeff's a really good guy. It's nice meeting him, that's for sure. Especially since we were in the Seattle side of the country, of the state. It was amazing to actually meet other patriots in that side of the state. Because it was him, and then a little bit later, right as I was pulling into the Fred Meyer, Carol Simpson. Right, Simpson? I think it's Simpson. It was Carol showed up. Well, nobody's getting notifications about this when everybody should be sharing the link to it. Share it everywhere you can. Maybe. Could be possible. You could be related.
Do you have a regular car, right?
Well, thank you there, Jeff. Thank you. That's my tribute. That's my way of a memoriam. Should I, They may be gone, but they should never be forgotten, especially not what was done to them and how they ended up that way. Yep. Nobody got a notification this time when it went live. So, sorry about that. I don't know how. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube, but
That's the only one they have, right?
seems to be a regular thing off and on lately. Shutting down for the day. I'm within 20 miles of where I deliver tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't get a Twitch notification either. And I still haven't got the YouTube one.
I'm empty right now.
What time you guys close?
We're 24 hours. 24 hours.
Exactly, Jeff.
Here, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock and then 6 a.m. will be 5 a.m. If you're awake, but 2 a.m. yeah. Do you see I'm okay? Yeah, I'm good. Here, right here. This one?
Well, YouTube is the YouTube seems to be the outlet that the world watches. You know, there's a lot of other ones out there, but they're not really recognized by the people that are attached to Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Mainly because, you know, these people are believing in censorship. YouTube also does a lot of censorship. And that's why these people on Facebook and everybody, they trust YouTube. So as long as I stay within certain guidelines, I won't get censored. But doesn't stop them from shadow banning it. The fact remains, though, that this is the one app that they all watch. So if we're all publicizing it out on YouTube along with the other places at the same time, the likelihood that the people that truly need to see it in order to wake up will see it eventually. We're down to 11% on the battery. There we go. All right, here we go. You're welcome. I wasn't in there that long, was I? The sun was up and now it's not. You're tapping out. How many times have you said that, Jen? Have a good night, Jen. I'll be tapping out myself here soon enough. Because I am tired. I've been up since like 3 o'clock this morning. Uh-oh. What's that say? 10%. Oh, battery's at 10%. Fan down. There we go. Good night, Jen. Have a good night. Oh, I know. I know. I summoned you. I didn't mean to disturb your beauty sleep. I was just letting you know I was live again, in case you wanted to pop back in when you got done whatever you were doing. I don't want to interfere with Tito's time. There's that. Put that back up over there. And power cord. Let's get this puppy plugged in. Since we're down to 10%. go. There we go. Now. So what's your news? What kind of news is happening in your neck of the woods today? Wherever you are, whoever you are. Now, what does anybody know about this gun legislation bill that they decided that they couldn't read it? Somebody wrote it, and they were told that, you know, we don't have time to read it, we just have to pass it, then we can read it. Just like they did with that Obamacare crap in the back in the day. What's about it? Oh no, the Hoover Dam works just fine. The Hoover Dam works just fine. The problem is, California is stealing most of that water because it doesn't belong in California and it doesn't reside in California. But they pump it straight into LA. Yeah, a lot of it goes into Las Vegas, but most of it gets pumped into LA. And most of the excess of that gets pumped into LA gets dumped right into the oceans. But oh no, nobody's allowed to touch it except California. Don't live somewhere that doesn't have water of its own. If there's no fresh water, natural sources, don't live there. Plain and simple. Not to mention California. I'm sorry. You're sitting on the coast. You can build. Matter of fact, you've been given gigantic desalination plants to use, but you're not using them. You're refusing to. You can easily turn the salt water into fresh water through a filtration system in a desalination plant. You got plenty of water. You don't need to be taking it from every other state. Yeah. You know, if the water's been dropping a couple feet every day over there in Lake Mead. Now, if that water drops just another couple of feet, like basically within the next couple of weeks, there will be no water coming out of Lake Mead to anywhere else. Which means LA is going to be out of water. And Vegas is going to be out of water. And that's by design, by the way, because there's plenty of water sources that feed that lake that have been slowly cut off more and more every year by laws passed in California refusing to allow the usage of, because they're claiming the water rights in other states. California, I'm sorry, you don't have the right to claim the water rights in any other state. Even the Constitution tells you that. But you're getting away with it. It's all part of the liberal agenda. Yes, Jeff, it's all intentional. Yep. Huh. Sorry, I just got a text. I got to answer. Hang on. Oh, California. California either needs to be made a country of its own or dissolved into California. California should just be dissolved into Mexico. Period. Because every for the last 40 years nationwide has all come out of California. The EPA is run by California. The emission systems on all our vehicles is regulated and comes out of California, and California is the only one that holds the laws that makes it that way. Every single crazy law that has changed things in such a way to make things just that much worse for us and cost us that much more money, all of that stuff has come out of California, every bit of it. It's like California runs this country, not Washington, D.C. I'm in the same way, Shannon. I will not haul loads in or out of California unless I absolutely have to. And by that being said, absolutely have to means they're paying me way too much money to say no. Which very, very, very rarely ever happens. Portland and Seattle do not need to be their own states. That would just make things even worse politically. Especially when it comes time to vote. But, that being said, somebody needs to go into those towns and clean up their water systems so the people don't continually be poisoned with whatever's making them crazy. Why are you running circles over? You can smell it, can't you? You can smell it. Do you smell these? Do you smell these? Oh, you're running circles? You can smell these? You can smell these? Is that what you want? Oh, that is what you want, isn't it? Look at that. Look at you go. I got Sid some chicken gizzards. He loves chicken gizzards. So do I. Yep. They just want robots driving these semi-trucks, right? Well, here's the thing. Driverless semi-trucks will never work. Not until every single other vehicle in the world is driverless. And even then, deadliest thing you're ever going to see. A robot doesn't know that a ball coming at it from the side means there might be a child chasing behind it. There goes your kids. And it's all fine and good. They're not going to do anything about it until it happens to be a senator's kid. Oh, then you know, all you know what will break loose, right? And they'll ban them. And they'll put drivers back in them. But until that day, they're going to keep pushing. There's a reason, though, that a lot of those there were a lot of companies that were designing and testing semi-trucks that were fully automated, that a driver didn't have to be driving, right? They could drive themselves. There's a reason most... There you go. There you go. There's a movie out there. There's a movie out there called iRobot. Should watch it. Matter of fact, Terminator. All of the Terminator movies. That's where they're trying to push us to. Wally. All robots have a purpose. The problem is, you can't really put robots out in public society around people. You ever notice, like here the other day, I was in a store with my daughter, and they had a robotic barista. The whole coffee shop was run by a robot, right? You order on the screen, and the robot starts and making your drink, whatever drink you wanted, and the whole thing is encased in bulletproof glass, everything. Except where the robot puts the cup down and through the little hole in the bulletproof glass. What's that tell you? I mean, if you have to protect the general public from the robotic barista, how in the world are you going to protect the public from a robotic semi-truck? So, the day that we become fully robotic in every which way possible, that's the day that mankind will go extinct. Self-checkout is the stupidest thing in the world. I've already gone through self-checkout a few times. And ended up, something went wrong with it. Right? I scanned everything registered up, I paid for it. I bagged everything, and I go to walk out, and I get surrounded by security wanting to scope through the entire receipt and go through everything in the bag because I supposedly stole something. Turns out it was just a malfunction in their stupid machine that triggered a security alert. Because I don't steal nothing. Now, but that's happened a few times with those stupid self-checkouts. And it usually happens when I bring in my own bags to do the shopping instead of using their bags. Yeah. That's interesting how you trick them into it, huh? Funny. You still have an Albertsons? You know, most of the Albertsons are gone now. They filed bankruptcy and they've been shutting down the Albertsons one by one. And Safeway bought them out. So technically, Albertsons that you're going to now isn't even Albertsons, it's Safeway. Yes, but that Albertsons is not really an Albertsons. It says it is, but it's owned by Safeway. And all of the products in it are provided by Safeway Distribution. Albertsons technically doesn't exist anymore because they were bought by Safeway. It's just like you see all these Swift transportation trucks out there on the highway still. Swift transportation technically doesn't exist anymore. Under, and Night Transportation bought them out. Night Transportation owns Swift Transportation. So technically, when you see a Swift truck, you're Yep. Well, Fred Meyer has always been owned by Kroger. Fred Meyer has always been owned by Kroger. You know, a long time ago, I mean, it doesn't have to be true anymore, but for some reason, the west side of the country has this store named, let's call it, Jack in the Box, right? Jack in the Box on this side, on the west side of the country. But you get to the east side of the country, it's the same restaurant, the same sandwiches, but it's called Carl's Jr. Everything down from one side of the country to the other, right down the middle, this stores, but they had to be different names. That's how Fred Meyer over here has always been owned by Kroger, because Kroger went and stretched to the west, and in doing so, they had to come up with yeah. And it's kind of funny how the Shoney stores all lasted and the big boy stores all disappeared, with the exception of just a couple. I know there's one outside of Detroit, Michigan that's still in operation. There's a relatively new one, actually, just about 30 miles north of Vegas, out by Creech Air Force Base. You're going up the highway, you got Creech Air Force Base on one side, and you've got a big boy restaurant / truck stop on the other side. I know we used to have one out in Hillsboro, Oregon, and we had one in Spokane. We had one in the Seattle area. I don't remember where. But that was it over here. And all of those, almost all of those are gone. And they've been gone since I was in my teenage years. Yeah, Whole Foods. Whole Foods is literally just a Portland area, or basically an Oregon, maybe even in Vancouver. I know they got one in Vancouver, but they're not that big. And they are so extremely overpriced for what they are. Have a good night, Jeff. It was nice seeing you in here tonight. We got got a store here in the Northwest called Tuesday Mornings. I've never seen it anywhere else in the country, just here in the Northwest. Yeah, Trader Joe's, that's another place that's way overpriced. Northwest store. You don't find it anywhere else. And would it surprise you to know that Trader Joe's and Whole Foods are actually owned by the same parent company? Just like the very first Whole Foods store that ever opened up in downtown Portland, right next to Powell Books. Hippie stores. Yep. That's basically what they are. Not really hippie, but more yuppie. Because, oh my God, you have to have one hell of a killer job to be able to afford anything in there anyway. Yeah, but they're relatively new in Phoenix. They're Italian Princess, and I mean relatively new, as in like within the last 10 years or roughly around that. And that's because they overprice everything so drastically, and more, and grow fast. Problem is, nobody can really afford to shop there, but they think that, okay, we're going to say everything in here is organic, and we're only going to do this, and this, and we're going to overprice this shit so badly. Well, the reason they're overpricing it is, one, because they're calling it organic, and in a lot of cases it's not really organic. So they're saying it's organic, so they can way overprice it. But they're getting it for the same price as the regular stuff. So they're making a killing. Easy for them to turn around and build more stores. And eventually, when they've covered the entire country and they're overpriced stuff, and they get enough backing and the people are constantly going there, now the smaller regular stores are going to start closing. And now you're only going to be left with those super high priced yuppie stores like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. The very first Trader Joe's store that ever opened up in Beaverton, Oregon. The very first Whole Foods store that ever opened up in downtown Portland, right next to Powell's Books. There's another store out there, Sierra Trading Post. Most of them that I've seen are basically in Nevada, right? I haven't really seen them anywhere else but in Nevada. And they're relatively new. But their corporate offices, and their main distribution center, their only distribution center, is in Cheyenne, Wyoming. How are you doing, Rena? Is it Rena or Rena? Rena being number 1 or Rena being number 2? I don't remember seeing a Cracker Barrel in Oregon up until recently. It's just like the Portland, Oregon area has a restaurant called Claim Jumpers. They're really good, by the way. They got a ton of stuff on their menu. And it's all homemade. They're really popular. Matter of fact, they got so popular that they were actually making their dishes out and freezing them in like the same banquet or something. You could go into the grocery store and get their stuff out of the freezer, take it home, microwave it, and eat it. I don't remember exactly where. Somewhere in the Portland area there is now a Cracker Barrel, but there didn't used to be. It's relatively new. The sun's gone. Starting to cool off in here a little bit. Sid's already starting to try to fall asleep. I think I might be getting this way too. I'm getting tired. Like I said, I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, so 3 o'clock in the morning in Idaho makes it 2 o'clock here. So on the West Coast, I've been up since 2 a.m. And it is now what? Almost 10:30 now here, so I do need to get into bed so soon because I'm tired. No, East Hill, you do not. You do not want to do that. You do not want to do that because you won't be able to make it away. White Castle is some of the nastiest food that I have ever had in my life. It tasted great when it was first delivered to my table, but down the taste got nastier. And then after I'd eaten, within about an hour I was in the bathroom. And it was that way for almost a week. No matter how much Imodium I took. And I thought maybe, it was just a bad experience one time, right? No, I've tried it several times, and every time it's that same story. And it doesn't matter what White Castle I go to. So please do yourself a favor and don't go there. You're better off going into the frozen section in your grocery store and getting a box of the White Castle little mini burgers, taking them home, microwaving them, and eating them, because those actually come out better than what comes out of the actual White Castle. Night, Shannon. Night, East Hill. Everybody have a good night. And we're going to go ahead and call this one it for the night. Howling at the Moon. Have a good night.